We the GamerCast is powered by patrons at patreon.com/YumiCapri. And from the bottom of my heart, I am so grateful to the nearly 70 patrons who support us each and every month, with a special thanks to our Capremium producers, Dallas Ford, Lee Navarro, the fearless leader of the Phoenix Overdrive Extra Life team, and Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on the Xbox Drive and the Nintendo Drive. You can support Jonathan Brown at youtube.com/PM Entertainment. Our platinum producers, Robbie Bobby Miller and Trucker Sloth, and our gold members, Argo, Benji Kong, Brendan Myers, Dallas Robbins, Dano, Emily O'Kelly, Foolish Fuji, Heather Boney, James Johnson, Joel Brooks, Jose Jimenez, Mac Time, Marcus O'Neill, Mr. and Mrs. Nasty Boots, RJ Kern, Skinny Matt, and Xavier Reyes. If you'd like to support this show and all the Yumi Capri content, go to patreon.com/Yumi Capri and choose the tier that's right for you. Now, on with the show. Me, Sean Capri, and welcome to We the GamerCast. It publishes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play every single Monday, but patrons get it first. Thank you guys for subscribing, for being here, for listening, for telling your friends, for telling your moms, for telling your dads, for telling your dogs, for telling your cousins, for telling the cat that you're babysitting. I have to say, right off the bat here, I'm wearing different headphones, and they are, I'll get into this in a second, but they are noise canceling. I don't know why. I could just like talk into them. I don't have to listen to anybody, but I listen to the music. And it's just a comfort thing. I wear the headphones while I chat about this, but it's throwing me off a little bit, like, because they're noise canceling. So I can hear myself, but I can't hear myself. It's a very strange thing. But guys, I'm getting a little away from myself, because if you're new, here's the deal. Every week I have Sweet Hangs with a stranger from the internet. We talk about life and games, and if you want to be on the show or just send me a sweet tweet, you can tweet at me at Sean Capri. It's Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. I treated myself. I found a good deal. I found a sale. I found a Costco, of course. These Sony, dude, they're really nice. They've kind of like blown my mind a little bit. They're like $120 off, which I am very, very happy about. And life is good, you guys. Life is pretty good. We're going to be chatting with Xbox Kaneda in just a second. I got a couple things that I want to talk to you about. I got a couple things. First of all, I want to tell you that you can now find this show in audio form at youtube.com/Yumi Capri alongside all of the Yumi Capri content, like the Xbox Drive, the Nintendo Drive, the PlayStation Drive, and the RPG Cave, and this show, all in one place for your listening and viewing pleasure. youtube.com/Yumi Capri. Shout out to Mr. Ryan Turford for making this all possible, and shout out to everybody at patreon.com/Yumi Capri. You guys set something in motion when you showed up in droves and just blew our socks off. We were wearing socks. The socks got blown off thanks to your guys' support. Patreon.com/Yumi Capri. That's what kickstarted all of this stuff. The RPG Cave happened. Sweet Hangs. Oh, Sweet Hangs is also there. We haven't posted anything there just yet. By the time you hear this, I think there'll be at least one episode there. YouTube.com. I was like, there's another show that we do. I knew I was missing something. Sweet Hangs is the other one. All in one place. So pretty much, you'll get a show at youtube.com/Yumi Capri pretty much every day. I think 6 days a week, something will happen over there. And so thank you to Ryan Turford. He's the man on the moose behind all of this stuff. And it wouldn't have happened without that fateful day, April 15th, Yumi and Capri Day, where we just blasted through all of our goals. So thank you guys. It means something when you show up and when you support. It actually, like, things happen. At least here, at least I can't speak for all of the internet, but at least with Ryan and I and the whole crew, it's been a ride, man. And I feel it. I'm feeling very grateful. I feel great, guys. Enough about that whole thing. Last week I gave you an update. I'll give you another one. Some of you might have seen on Twitter. I am down 11 pounds. I am crushing my cravings. I am on the path. I am in total control, you guys, and I feel like every day I feel a little bit better than the day before, and that's exactly the momentum that I need. Shout out to Marcus O'Neill for helping me get on this path, dude. Like I'm doing this thing. This is so strange. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this. Maybe because I have this like weird habit of like sometimes I'm talking to you, but you don't know what I'm doing with my hands. I'll tell you. I'm like rubbing my belly for some strange reason. I'm just kind of like rubbing it, and it's a little smaller. It feels good, man. It's not quite pushing out the buttons buttons on my shirt, and my pajama pants are kind of like slipping a little bit here. It's a good feeling. I'm feeling great. I'm staying hydrated. I'm staying active. I'm taking a break from Twitch in case I hadn't mentioned that already, and it's working, man. It's really, really good. Did I already say it? I'm down 11 pounds as of Thursday of this week. And I'll look forward to Twitter, Twitter at Sean Capri, Sean like Connery Capri like the pants. Every Thursday you can expect at least an update. And man, I'm on it. And thank you to, like I said, Marcus O'Neill and Joey Splats as well. Just crushing it over there, man. And you guys, Grouchy Surge, all these people, like we've got a really great community. Brett Robinson, of course, social media manager for the show, We the GamerCast. Like everybody we're putting a focus on our health, and I'm telling you guys, it matters. Because before I get into our chat with Xbox Kaneda, I have one thing. I'm going to get it a little serious here. There's been a couple people around, my family and at work, everybody there. There's been, honestly, it's kind of like things almost happen in threes, and all of a sudden, I've come to know of 3 untimely passings of friends of friends. Nothing terribly close to home, but it's still kind of like shaking us up a little bit. And I just want to remind you. I have a request. I'm going to put it this way. I have an ask to stop being so hard on yourself. Life is way too short. I'm reminded of this far too often. Life is so short. It's so fragile. Every day is a gift. Please remember that. So I know you're being hard on you. Yes, I know you're being too hard on yourself. Just relax. Everything's going to be okay. You're trying your best, and stop trying to compare to somebody else. That's too prescriptive. I don't want to be too prescriptive. You can do whatever you want, but please just remember to not be so hard on yourself. Does that make sense? I want the best for everybody. We want to live our best lives. It's too short. Let's get on with it, man. Everything's going to be okay. Just like this conversation with my new friend. I was going to say my good friend, but I think we're new friends. When you end a conversation like this, and it's like, don't be a stranger. It's like, I won't, Xbox Kaneda. I won't be a stranger, and I don't think anybody listening to this is going to be a stranger to you either, because they can follow Xbox Kaneda at Xbox Kaneda. It's with a K. It's in the show notes. You can click on the thing. It's kind of, I'm not going to spell the whole thing, but you can also go to his website, www.pixelserial.com. And as soon as I saw that, I knew that we were going to be friends, because who doesn't love cereal and who doesn't love pixels? This is a great chat, guys. We go all over the place here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Here he is, Xbox Kaneda.
It's stinking hot today, man. And my air conditioner broke down a couple weeks ago.
What is with that? Everybody I've talked to, when it's the hottest, like their air conditioning is just crapping out.
That's just Murphy's Law right there, my friend.
I guess so. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
But
that's not fair.
For me, like last year, we had money set aside to replace it this year. Yeah. Like, okay, we just need this damn thing to make it through the season. Mm-hmm. And then next year, we're good. We're going to buy a new one. Oh, I lost my job last year. My wife lost her job last year. So all the savings kind of depleted, and I didn't get a new job until February this year. So
yeah, what was that like, man? What is like, because you got kids? Like, what is that? What happens there?
What do you mean with
just when you lose your job? Like, walk me through that. Like, I don't know. I'm lucky enough that I haven't been in that position. But,
nothing really to walk through, man. It's just,
I mean, you figured it out.
Continues to move on. Well, yeah, you work in IT, you figure out how to be unemployed pretty quick. Trust me.
Why is that?
Because you're one of the first things to go in a restructure.
Yeah. That
sucks. So, well, it's because like companies switch to managed service provider, right? Mm-hmm. Why pay somebody $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year to be a warm body in the seat when you may not talk to them, you may not need them for anything for 3, 4, 5 days in a week. Sure. You might only need to really lean on that
on-call type of thing. Is that what the deal was? Like,
yeah, sort of. Like, not really, but it's just one of those things where you could probably save. You could probably say, like, if someone's making $60,000 a year, you could probably save like $40,000 or more by going to a managed service provider.
Sure.
So yeah. We just made it work. I mean, it's not the easiest thing in the world, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
But, you just do what you got to do.
How old are your kids?
My oldest is 12.
Yeah.
And my youngest is 4.
Oh, okay. So, the 12-year-old knows what's going on, I'd say.
No, we keep her out of the loop. She doesn't need to know.
Yeah.
It's not.
Not worried about
she's 12. She's a kid.
Yeah.
She's a kid. Well,
Yeah.
she only just turned 12, but yeah, last year,
Sure.
11 years old. She's a kid. Just be a kid.
Yeah.
Play your games. No, I'm sorry, I can't buy you some
Sure.
Fortnite V-Bucks this month, but whatever.
Yeah. How does that affect how does it affect gaming and stuff too though? Like you kind of want to be gaming, you got time on your hands, but yeah, like how do you kind of manage that?
I don't know. So like for me, and this is just how I do it. My day starts, during those days, those dark days, I guess.
Yeah,
you
man.
Call it. You just kind of wake up. Like I wake up at 5.
Yeah. Wow.
Between 4 and 5 in the morning, and because like I'm not sleeping anyways, I've got too much on my mind, right?
Yeah.
So then I just jump online and I start hitting up all of the headhunter sites. I hit up all the job sites for anything that came in overnight.
Yeah.
And then from there, you'd sit there and I'll do it, and I'll rejig my resume.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Like maybe 3 times, maybe 10 times.
Yeah.
And I'll hit it hard until about 9 or 10, and then like I've exhausted all options, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then you take some time away. You spend some time with the kids. You spend some time with like especially during COVID, you spend time with the kids or make sure they're doing the schoolwork and things like that. And then you if you have other friends that are that have different schedules with you than you connect with them.
Mm-hmm.
You hang out, you play some games, and then around mid-afternoon you disconnect.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, maybe 2:30, disconnect, and you hit those job boards again, and you just kind of go through everything that you went through the morning.
Yeah.
Look for anything's new, make new resumes, some adjustments.
Had you been through that before? Like, is this kind of like the first time? Like maybe you and your wife both at the same time? Like,
oh my! So we've never been at the same time. Thankfully, knock on wood, Jesus Christ. Now that I said that, I'm going to be in trouble.
No doubt. I shouldn't have asked it.
No. So, my wife, she lost her job last year in around June or July, just after being promoted. Shortly after being promoted, like 3-4 months after being promoted. Yeah, it was messed up. There's a story behind there, and
sure, maybe not yours to tell.
It's not my story to tell, but the management, I'll say, is.
I mean, that makes no sense. I don't think I've ever heard that before. You get promoted and then let go.
No, you don't, because it doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
They were just so basically. The end result is my wife wasn't comfortable going back into the office.
Sure.
They're like, "Why don't you come back?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "I'm not comfortable going back. I have elderly parents. They're in their 70s.
Yeah.
Father has some medical issues. My parents both have medical issues.
Yeah. And
on my side of the family, like my family is all my parents have.
Right.
So we didn't want to put them at risk.
Mm-hmm.
And so my wife was just like, "Yeah, I'm not just really not comfortable." They're like, "Okay, that's cool. No problem.
Yeah.
It's all good. You keep working from home. You're doing a great job." And then it was just like a couple weeks later, like, "So, but your job, we found that we found some, what do they call them? Efficiencies we could take care of." And then they got rid of her job title, and then they hired somebody else to do basically the same role under a new title.
Yeah. That breaks your soul, man. That's soul crushing.
Yeah. You know what? It's okay, because they were not great people. They were not great people to work for. She was stressed out continually, and at the end of the day, it was pretty good. Now she works at a good company, but she had just started. She'd been there for 2 weeks, and then I lost my job the week after my birthday last September.
On your birthday? Are you serious?
No, a week after.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah. So my birthday came and went, and I'd been told that I was going to be moving to a new department because I'd been working real hard on some new stuff, and well, it turns out that position didn't exist anymore. So that was September.
You seem still kind of like, has it been long enough that you're kind of laughing about it a little bit now? Like, that seems, I would be ruined, dude. Like, I would be so stressed out about that.
You can, yeah. I mean, like, it's not that I wasn't stressed out about it.
Sure.
You just handle it. You have to get through it, right?
Yeah.
you just kind of you just do the work that you got to do. You got to get through something. You just kind of do it. You kind of keep the kids out of it, and then you wait till they're in bed and you talk with the wife and be like, oh, so this is what I'm going through. I got these rejection letters today, and it's bullshit. Or sorry, am I even allowed to swear?
I mean, that's fine.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be like nothing, but yeah, don't
like I swear a lot, so I'll try to keep my P's and Q's in check here. It's just a natural thing. That my wife will tell me that I wake up often in the middle of the night and I'm just like I'm yelling or cursing at somebody or something.
Josh, that's not good, dude. I don't think that's a good thing at all.
It's less now that I'm like, things are starting to settle down for us.
Sure.
But like she'll tell you, like, I talk in my sleep, and often like I'm talking in my sleep like I talk in normal life, and I might tell someone to screw off or in so many words.
Yeah.
So I apologize if I swear. Just beat me out.
It's like the nicest. It's such a Canadian thing to do. Like, sorry for swearing. Sorry. Like, like we're gonna tell you how we feel, but we'll apologize.
I get real colorful, man.
Yeah. Is that a thing? Like, are you known for that? Like some colorful takes, some colorful like commentary on stuff, and also does that translate into your writing as well?
No, it doesn't.
Just F-bombs in the written form.
No,
in the written form.
I try to keep it pretty like professional, even though I'm far from a professional.
Right.
I do this for a hobby, man. Like, this is not a job. I don't think I'm ever going to get paid to do this.
Sure. Where'd you start? What was the first thing you did?
So the first thing I ever did was I did I played the Fallout game, the Fallout 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I played the originals, had them day one, loved them.
Yeah.
As soon as Fallout 3 was announced and it came out, I was like, damn, that game looks really good. But I can't buy it because it's Christmas time, and I'm not allowed to buy myself stuff at Christmas time.
Yep.
So
it's a good rule, really.
Yeah, well, it is.
Like, overall.
But Toys R Us had a deal where if you buy was a buy one get one free.
Yeah, you can't ignore it.
And I couldn't ignore that.
Yeah.
No. So I bought it, and I played that game, and it hooked me.
Mm-hmm.
Hooked me.
Yeah, man.
I could not put that damn controller down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was done playing it. I was like, oh my God, who do I talk to about this? Like, I don't have a lot of friends that play games the way I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to my buddy Matt. I'm like, Matty, have you ever played this game? He's like, no. I'm like, he goes, why? I said, because I need to talk about it. He's like, okay, well, talk to me about it. So I did. And he's like, that's really cool, man. He goes, listen, I run a small blog with a couple friends. Would you like to write a guest review?
Did you know that he did that?
No, I didn't know that.
What was that like to discover? Because I feel like that's a thing, Josh. Like, where we now we're much more open about it. Like, we promote the crap out of ourselves, right? Like, but to find that somebody else was like, I got this blog on the side. I'm kind of like, I do this. Like, what are the chances? So
he was doing it with a couple other friends. One of them is still very active in the community. I'm not going to go into who it is, but very active in the community. We get along just fine. He's a bit of maybe a polarizing character, I guess, to a certain degree, but I have no problem with the guy. So whatever, it is what it is, right? So I wrote it, and he goes, okay, well, let's see if we get a post. I'll bring it to my friends and let's see what they say. And they go, yeah, that's good. Let's put it up. So they did. Well, Bethesda saw it.
What?
Yeah, Bethesda saw it, and they quoted me on the main page for the Fallout 3
Did
page.
They? No, that's not true.
Yes.
No,
I swear to God.
Come on, what the heck,
so,
man?
I think the quote was something like, "Never before has post-apocalyptic world looked so dark, but beautiful at the same time."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well said. Man, if I'd have that framed, I'd take a picture, screenshot the website or whatever it is, that'd be.
I never thought of it. I honestly never thought.
You're done there. You started and you stopped all the one. That doesn't get any better than that. That's awesome.
So, yeah. So then I was like, wow, that was really cool. And then they got a bunch of hits, and then I got a an email from somebody at Bethesda, and they're like, "Hey, we saw your review, really liked it. We'd like to send you something." I'm like, "What?
Come on, it does not happen like this anymore, man.
No, probably not anymore." This is going back like when that game first came out.
When
right?
was that? 2010?
2007?
Yeah, I guess so, but maybe earlier than that. Yeah, probably 2007, 2008.
It was before my daughter was born.
Okay.
And she's 12, right?
Damn, like my timeline is completely messed up, man. I'm thinking like Fallout 4, and then Fallout 3 was PS3, Xbox 360 era. So yeah, you're in there. Yeah. Yeah, you're early on that. You're right into it, dude.
2008.
Yeah.
2008. Yeah, because she was born in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why I got to play it as much as I did is because my wife, all she did was sleep.
You're right. Yeah. Rest off the pregnancy. I
had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So I played the hell out of that game.
That's awesome, man.
So I was like, wow, that's really cool. I'm like, you can get stuff. And so my buddy's like,
but
yeah,
what was it like discovering that your friend did because you were looking like you wanted to talk to somebody about it? Like that must have just changed everything.
Well, it was really cool because my buddy Matt I knew he played games. We only just got recently reconnected because of Facebook at the time.
Right.
It was still a fairly new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he had moved away when we were, how old were we? I guess we were in grade 8, I guess it was.
Sure. Yeah.
So they'd moved away to Toronto, and then you say you're going to stay connected, but you never do.
Yeah.
Or you rarely do. And we got reconnected on Facebook, and that's how we got talking. And he's like, "Hey, you still play video games?" Because he used to have a Sega and a Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man, I do. And he's like, "Yeah, me too." And we talked about games, and I was just like, "You play video games? I don't have many friends that play games.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about this. Have you played it?" And he was like, "I'm doing a blog thing." So,
dude,
that's kind of how it started.
That's amazing. And those back in the days when people kind of still had an appreciation for Facebook to do that very thing, to reconnect. I think it's been a long time since I thought of Facebook in that way, to find a long lost friend or a family member or something and reconnect. And now it's just we got over that pretty quickly, and now we're just yelling at each other. I haven't been on Facebook in forever, man. It's been a lot. I've been on I was on when it still said a Mark Zuckerberg production at the bottom of it. When he needed a university email to get onto. I remember that, and I remember mixing up the guy. I remember it specifically because I mixed up with the guy who does who produces Survivor, and now I'm forgetting that guy's name. But I thought I don't know why I thought they were the same. In my mind, it was just what's the Survivor guy doing this? I was such a stupid. I don't know. I had no basis for that at all. But yeah, it was a special time for Facebook back then, man. You could it
was cool.
Yeah,
it was cool at the time.
Your relationship status, that was. I mean, back in the old messaging that MSN Messenger, you'd have the status, and maybe it might be busy, or maybe it was a passive aggressive song lyric that you're pissy at somebody.
Well, that's it. I mean, my relationship status has been the same for almost 24 years.
It's complicated.
No.
I'm just kidding.
It's never been complicated for us. I don't know. People are being in a relationship so much hard work. And
You've been with your wife for 24 years?
Yeah, almost.
Where, high school or what? When did you guys meet?
She's the little sister of a friend of mine.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're 3 years difference.
Yeah.
Which
now it's nothing.
Sister.
But in high school it's
she was 16 when we first met. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 19.
You were 19. Is that a problem?
No, not really.
I don't know. I have no idea.
It sort of was for my mother-in-law.
Sure.
She's like, "Oh, I don't want you dating someone so much older than you," and it's not really a full 3 years difference. It's 2.5 years, really.
Sure. Yeah.
But it was. My brother-in-law, my buddy, he's like, "Nah, Mom, he's a good guy. He's not a creep or anything like that. Just give him a chance, and I think you'll probably be okay with him." She did, and here we are.
It really isn't 2.5 years is really, it's almost nothing, and it's just in that age, that bracket there, that it's a little, I don't know, kind of probably a little different. But if it's 24 and 22, 21, it's it's absolutely nothing, but for whatever reason,
well, yeah, I mean, I was going to college, right? And she was still in high school.
See, that's the thing I was going to say is, if you're a college boy dating a high school girl, that's a little different.
Right. it was like I got a little bit of grief about it from some of my friends, but I used to
I'm
be
sure.
like, well, you know, when I'm in my 30s and she's still in her 20s, I'm winning.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, but like literally, like the first time I ever saw her picture was funny. I was at I went to pick up her brother,
Yeah.
who was sleeping one off from a long night the night before.
Nice.
And I see this picture. I was there with my buddy Ryan. I go, "Who's that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's Jeremy's little sister." I'm like, "Damn, she's hot."
No.
Yeah. Like literally it went down like that. And he's like, "Yeah, you think so?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, man, she's a smoke show." And then my buddy Jer comes up and he's like, "Hey guys," and my buddy Ryan says, "Hey Jer, you think your sister's hot?"
Oh man,
And
just
he goes,
outs you.
He looks at me and goes, "You touch my sister, I will kill you."
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
a big brother should say that.
They should, but he should have reacted differently when I was like, "Well, I mean, I'm probably going to be coming to family dinners real soon. Believe me."
Oh no way! You had this confidence, like you saw a picture, you didn't even know. Like, had you met her?
Yeah.
Like, when did you meet her? Like, when did you say hey?
Like about 2 weeks later, I met her.
Yeah, yeah. What was that like?
And then about 2 months later, I was coming to family dinners.
Come on. Just because you said so, just because you said you were going to.
I was just like, I'm going to do this, man. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
and he's like, I
sounded
swear
like
to
a
God, you
challenge.
touch my sister, I will kill you. But
He
no,
hasn't done it yet.
there I am.
Yeah.
And I have further proof that, things have happened because we have children. So I win.
Yeah. High five. That's how that works.
That's right.
Yeah. So how did it actually, like, how did your paths cross?
A friend, my buddy who I was there with,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm friends with her. He's like, do you want me to invite her over to introduce you? I'm like, hell yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And he did one day, and we met, and then we started talking on the phone, and then I was just like, I'd like to take you to, out on a date somewhere. Maybe we go catch a movie.
Josh, man.
And we went, and I actually broke off a date that I had with somebody else that night to take her out, and we went and saw The Wedding Singer.
I love it.
Yeah.
And
and it's been that's it since.
Yeah. And like nothing. Oh man, I don't know that like a lot of people have it that easy, Josh.
No, they don't.
You just kind of like see a picture, go, yeah, that's the one. Like, at what point did you go? At what point did it like? Because it sounds like almost like it was a game at first. You're like, yeah, that would be fun, and then all of a sudden it became serious at a certain point.
No, it was just like I was literally like, man, she's hot. Like,
yeah,
I need to know. I need to get to know this girl.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so it turns from that to like, okay, let's spend our lives together. Like, it's kind of
I don't know. It just kind of happened, man. It happened quick, I guess.
Yeah, it did it.
Yeah, it didn't take long. Like, I mean, we probably haven't spent a night apart since I went to Nova Scotia to help my buddy move there, and that was going back about 10 years ago.
Yeah. What did you guys click on immediately, like in the start?
I don't remember. We just talked and got on. We just got on really well.
Yeah.
That was it.
Again, this is not normally how it goes, I don't think. Like, it's like,
no.
Will we, won't we? Like, I don't know. Like, there's somebody else. It's complicated. Sure. Like, you just keep it simple, man.
There's people, I mean, like, we've had a lot of friends that have been like, I would like to have a relationship that's like yours because
yeah, man,
you guys can just like say whatever you want to one another, and even if the other one gets pissed off about it, you kind of just move on, and then you kind of just do your own thing. And
life is way more simple that way, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah. So your kids are pretty far apart, though. Was that like
yes.
did you drop a plan for them to be about a decade apart, or like
no.
what happened there?
So we had our first, and I was like, this is pretty cool. She's pretty neat.
Yeah.
But it was never the right time,
Okay.
She was born in 2009, and then in 2010, I lost my job.
Mm-hmm.
This is a common theme, isn't it? I swear to God, I'm a good employee. No, what ended up happening was the company I worked for was in a very specialized space in security and lawful interception communications and data.
Yeah.
And one of their big contracts came through, and they were like, look, we know you're a Canadian-based company, but we're not. We're a Canadian-based organization. You need to have X number of people that are American.
Right.
And they're like, okay. And they're like, let's look at the list here. These people were the last ones in. We need to get some more Americans to replace them. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
So, and that was a real tough go. That was like right in the implosion of the real estate bubble, and tech sector was really like coming in on itself again. And
I had no idea that was even a thing, Josh. Like I didn't even know that the tech sector was like doing this like implosion, explosion, kind of just like the roller coaster ride. It's because it seems to me like that's one of the smartest industries to get into now. Is like you want to get into tech at some point, but maybe it's, I don't know.
I disagree.
I'm obviously like, it's just outside looking in. I guess I have no idea.
If you want to, well, if you're going to get into technology, in my opinion, the best place to be is security.
Sure. Yeah.
And anything else is just a waste of time, because managed service providers are going to take over your job eventually anyways.
Do you ever think like that, like in terms of like do-overs and in terms of like what the field that you got into? Do you think like, would you rather gotten into something else? Like, yeah. Oh, really?
I used to be an art student, man.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. When I first started college, I went to art school.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. Well, nothing really happened. It's just that, I went to a specialized art high school where the fine arts were like a real sort of focus.
Yeah.
And I was one of, can't remember now, I want to say like 12 or 13 people that graduated in my entire graduating class that had a specialized art certificate. So that meant we had to hit certain criteria in art history, life drawing, things like graphic design, and we had to have a portfolio built, and we had to be able to present it and defend things in it. Kind of similar like to what a fine art student might have to do if they went for like their master's. Sure. Yeah. So we had to do things like that, and we were like before a panel of teachers that would ask questions and ask us, about our art and why'd you do this and tell me about it. What were you thinking?
What kind of art were you presenting?
Everything, right? Because like we did like a really wide variety of different types of art styles. I was really more interested in doing like illustration, like comic book illustration or character design. So anyway, I did a lot of that, but I also did some like artistic recreations of famous artworks and things like that too. So in my own style with like cartoon characters or comic book characters kind of mixed in there. Like I did one, it was a famous one of Mary and Jesus, and I changed it to Princess Leia holding on to a baby Darth Vader.
Come on, dude. Holy cow.
I don't know where that is. No, I don't think so. It might have been at my parents' house, but they've had some floods, had a couple floods, so I think it probably got lost in that.
So you had to present on that one? Like you had to kind of hold that up and go,
yeah, it was part of my portfolio at the time, for sure.
I don't think I realized that like that at all as part of like a way of doing art school. I'm sure there's a lot of different like paths that you can kind of take,
tons.
I guess. Yeah. I never really considered like that, because that sounds, I don't know. Again, outside looking in, I guess that sounds very, very academic. It's a little bit more academic than I would have maybe expected. And I mean that with the utmost respect. I just have no idea. Like I've never really thought about this and that path for fine arts.
It really was a little more academic, because that's one of the. So the school I went to, Earl of March in Kaneda, Ontario, Lions represent. They had really two big strong focuses, and one was in music arts and fine arts.
Yeah.
They were one of the premier schools in the country for music.
Yeah.
My girlfriend in high school was like a provincially decorated flautist. So she's played. I walked some really fine, weird lines in high school because I played football, so I was a jock. I played video games. One of my best friends was a nerd in the AB club. I was part of the quote unquote popular crowd, and I was an art student. Like,
yeah, all the things. That's all of them. There's nobody left.
Yeah,
you sat at all the tables.
There were actually some goths too, right? And I did actually have some friends there because I'd listened to Marilyn Manson back then. Like, I just kind of, I guess I'm a bizarre bird like that. I kind of just walk the line, and I don't give a crap what you group people put you in. I just, if you're a nice person, I'll talk to you and I'll hang out with you.
Yeah. That's how I was in high school as well, actually. Very, very similar. Like, I was a gigantic dork who was, getting excited over my download speeds increasing every couple months, just trying to get a little better, faster downloads on Napster, LimeWire,
Dude,
whatever.
I had 56K. I couldn't even get 56K where I lived because it wasn't our telephone lines where I live weren't good enough to get 56. So 9 times that 10 was 20. It was 26K.
Dude, I was like dead set on like trying to figure out how to, like, my one friend had cable. He was the first guy I knew to get cable internet, and it was just so fast. I think it was like a megabyte a second or something. Like, it was, but it was so fast. And I just wanted him to like bring over his modem. In my mind, like, that's what was gonna work. And like for me, like, that was the kind of thing, and that's when like the original Xbox was coming out right around that time. Right after we had Dreamcast for a little bit, and I was just obsessed about, like, I didn't want to experience lag anymore. Like, I was just like, I hated it. I wanted to have a good like internet like gaming experience, and now it just kind of set me off on like this discovery path. I felt like how are we gonna make this better? How are we gonna? I've been on that pretty much ever since. How am I going to be in a situation whether it's tech or whatever? I'm always like looking at something going like, how is this sucks now, but how can we make this better? It's just always like, I feel like there's part of me that could have gone into, I don't know, is that what like kind of tapped into you when you started to get into tech?
So when I got into tech, when I started getting into that stuff, it was just like my dad would have had, honest to God, and part of my language, my dad would have shit bricks if he knew what I did to his computer. Oh, no doubt. Okay.
Dude, same here, man. Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Like, I took apart, I pulled stuff out. The year 2000, there's a bug when machines might break down because of it, might roll over into like double zeros.
Yeah.
What happens when I change the date?
Just do it right now.
Nothing. And nothing happens.
Exactly. Like, you could just, that was the thing I never understood. Like, I'm just this dumb kid. I remember like being in Future Shop back in the day, and they were explaining this to my dad. I'm like, just change the clock now. Like, I don't know. I couldn't comprehend why that could possibly have been different.
I couldn't either. So I changed it. And then I went downstairs, and I was all proud of myself. I'm like, hey, Dad. He's like, yeah. I said, the Y2K bug? He goes, yeah. Because my dad was making money on that. He was a consultant that dealt with this stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I walked in, and I'm all
I'd
proud.
love to talk to him about that stuff, dude. Holy cow.
Yeah. I don't know. He might talk about it. But I was super proud of me. I'm like, Dad, guess what? He goes, what? I said, your computer? He's like, yeah. I go, totally safe for Y2K.
Yeah.
He goes, how do you know? I'm like, well, I just rolled the clock over and then I rebooted the machine. He's like, what? You did what? I'm like,
you could have launched the nukes. You could have ended the world right there, man. You could have brought it on first, because I'm sure nobody else did that. No, I feel like they were selling that as like a feature at some point. They're like, this one is Y2K ready.
Yes,
and like you pay extra.
It had a symbol on it that says Y2K ready.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd even sell you like a piece of software that said, run this software, and you can get your machine back to being Y2K ready.
It's a good thing it's at such a critical time in the internet and the availability of actual information, right? Like, there was just enough spread of information for it to be misinformation for us to believe it. It's like, there's no way that would happen now. Like, they would be debunked so fast. I mean, just the fact that you did that would be a YouTube video and people could see you do it, and everything is completely fine.
That's it. So
there's something about like a kid tinkering with his dad's shit, though. Like, there is something about that. It's probably it's just innate in us. It's in our DNA. It's what we're supposed to do.
That's right. I used to also like I used to hack Diablo, the original Diablo, back in the day. And I did some terribly nasty things to people in that game.
How did you even hack it? Like, what does that even mean?
Hex editors, man. So you go in and then I became friends with a guy who could actually program stuff, and then he created this editor. Yeah. And so what I would do is I would go in and be like, "Oh, hey man, let's go do some dungeon crawling," and he'd be like, "All right, cool." And then I'd be like, "Hey, that's a really cool looking that's a really cool looking armor you have on. What is it?" And he'd be like, "It's GPOW," which stands for Godly Plate of the Whale, which was like the primo item. I'm like, "Cool. can I have it? And the guy'd be like, hell no, man. Like, do you have any idea how long it took me to get this? I'm like, no. And then I would just like alt tab out, and I'd open up this application that my friend made, and I could see the guy's inventory, and I could just drag it over to my own inventory.
No way.
Yeah, 100%. It was like the wildest shit.
That's awful. Did you steal it?
Oh yeah, I totally did.
And like just pieced out, like you took it and like left it
no,
without
I would
it?
just, so I'd be like, oh, cool. No, I messed with them. So, so then I would apply it to my character, and so my character in game would have Godly Plate of the Whale, but his would too. And I'd be like, oh, this looks really nice on my rogue here. She looks super hot. He's like, yeah, why'd you ask me for mine when you already got one? I'm like, no, I took yours. And he'd be like, no, you didn't. Look, I'm wearing it. I'm like, open your inventory. And then you'd see like the moment that he hit his inventory, bam, his character's
everything's gone, just naked.
Gone. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And then I got called a lot of names.
I'd be so pissed, dude. Like that's not even, oh man, I don't like the story.
I was such a dick. I totally admit it. I was an asshole. I apologize to all you people who I definitely messed with, killed in town with level 44.
How long would that have taken that person to get that kind of stuff? Like
completely random, right?
You could,
Diablo.
Yeah.
Random drops. And probably like, if we're really honest about it, like looking back, given how easy it was to duplicate items, it probably wasn't as hard as he thought or as he claimed it was, because it used to be real simple to duplicate items, right?
He probably did what you did. He probably sold it off somebody else.
I don't know. He had no idea how to handle me. So, like, I literally like lit him on fire in town, and you couldn't cast spells in town.
Oh my god, you're just breaking the game, man.
Yeah, we were breaking the game. We were really, really dickish about it.
I imagine now you're civilized. Well, that's just it, right? Like
I was 17.
Yeah, you live and you learn. Are you better on the internet now, Josh? Are you refined?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'd say I'm probably better. Like,
yeah, what are you playing now? Like, what are you gaming now, man? So, like, are you looking forward to Diablo 4? It looks. I mean, I actually haven't shown us very much, but somehow I'm hyped about it.
Yeah, not enough. Well, obviously, I'm going to play the hell out of that. I know I will. I'm a Diablo guy.
Yeah.
I love Diablo a lot. That was really the seeds for me in PC gaming, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
That one, Phantasmagoria, Seventh Guest, Mist, and Ripper.
I've never played Ripper. I never even heard of Ripper.
Never played Ripper?
No, buddy. What is that?
Oh, I can't see if I...
He's looking over like he's got a box. Like, how old is this game?
Old.
And you got a box right beside you?
Somewhere. I don't see it. It's here somewhere. I've moved some stuff around. So Ripper was a great game. It was a full motion video game, point and click.
Sure.
Christopher Walken was in it.
How have I not played this game? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man. Christopher Walken was in it.
Look this up on YouTube.
And basically it was like a cyberpunk sort of futuristic take on Jack the Ripper.
Okay.
And it was, honest to God, it's so good. And the opening intro starts with Don't Fear the Reaper from Blue Oyster Cult.
Dude,
and I remember,
Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Isn't that the song? Isn't that the cowbell song?
Is it?
Don't fear.
I think it is.
That's Christopher Walken. He puts his pants on one leg at a time.
Yeah.
and he makes gold records.
Yeah, that's the game, man. It's oh man, I just saw it the other day too. I don't know where I put it.
Like a CD-ROM disc kind of thing.
Yeah, so it was like 6 discs. I think it was. It's like in this big folding thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
Final Fantasy VIII on PC. Came in like this amazing, like folding, like just this huge kind of case, a bunch of discs in it and everything. I don't remember if it was 3 or 4. It might have been 5 discs actually on PC.
Yeah, I can't remember. This was either 5 or 6.
That was so special.
All full motion video.
Yeah.
It was just such a great game. Like it was adult. It was very like adult oriented. There was a lot of swearing. There's some blood. It's a murder mystery, and you got to figure out who the killer is. There's puzzles. Like that was. I spent a lot more time playing games on the PC at that point in my life.
Yeah,
I kind of fell out of the console thing. I had them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had my Sega Genesis. I had my Super Nintendo. I had my Sega CD, but like those.
But they didn't have Whereas sites. You know what I mean? Like they didn't.
Yeah, try downloading Whereas when you're doing that 26K modem, man.
Oh, honestly. Oof. Yeah, you're like, maybe I'll just get a demo. I'll be happy with that. I'll go to GameSpot.
That's it. So yeah, that was man. Those are some of my formative games. I'm telling you, if you can find a way to play it,
a
strong recommendation.
I wonder if it's on like GOG or something like that. Some of those old games.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder what it was like. I don't know, like that. They're very memorable. I don't know if it's the games or just the years that we played them. I feel like maybe the latter, like where it was just like the point in time in our lives that we experience these games that we'll have such fond memories for the rest of our lives. Like that's like Unreal Tournament for me, big time. Quake 3.
Yeah, I played UE.
Yeah, even the original Unreal, like the very, very just. Even when I was playing it, I felt like it was special. Like, and now it's just kind of held on. I don't know what that is exactly, but I look back on those days with just a lot of fondness. You know.
Yeah, you have to, right? Like, I'm like John Rhys Davies is in this game.
Yeah.
Burgess Meredith. I don't know if you know who he is, but he played Mickey from the Rocky movies, the first 2 Rocky movies.
Holy crap! Movies. Yeah, I wouldn't have recognized the name. Yeah. He's old, but and, well, he's gone too. But Paul Giamatti's got a small part in it. Oh no way! Yep.
Yeah. So there's some really really great stuff.
That's amazing. Like this PC game got this like all-star cast. Like what the heck? I wonder who's at the helm of it. Like who made it? Do you know like what studio made it?
Take-Two.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So big back then. Yeah, man. Like I remember like installing Grand Theft Auto like 1 and 2 just on like floppy disk after floppy disk after floppy disk. Like I think it was like 14 or at least.
Guranga,
it might have been like 30. Dude, like what's that?
Guranga.
Oh my gosh. It was just those were the days. And now we have other things to complain about. You just every once in a while I like to take a little trip down memory lane and go like, yeah, I mean we really had a lot of patience to get through some of that stuff. Like download speeds were terrible, the storage was awful, load times were horrendous. You know,
we're so spoiled now.
We really
kids,
are.
Kids will never know the pain.
They
never know the pain.
No, I mean it's just new pain. It's just that's maybe the commonality of like technology is it opens.
Is it really new pain?
I think
when it takes you like 15 minutes to download a 200 gig game.
Yeah. Every once in a while, we'll say every once in a while in our journey with technology, it does seem like we find ourselves in a bit of a pocket where things are pretty good for a little while.
Yeah.
Like I'll say like right now is actually pretty decent. We've kind of got like a nice mix of like fast, like our consoles. I think it's a great generation of consoles right now. You know, like everybody seems to be pretty happy.
Yeah.
We're really actually struggling at like putting the others down. You know, like it's not really a good way to do it. It's not really a good like, yeah, you suck and take that. And it's like, yeah, everybody's doing pretty good right now.
I think we're doing pretty well, but it's still so early that it's super hard to say much more than, yeah, last generation's games run really well and they run really fast. And this generation's games, they look really pretty, but like I to be honest with you, I don't think we've really crossed that threshold into what this new generation is.
Yeah.
Until Ratchet and Clank, and I haven't played it yet. I'm going to play it, I hope, soon. But when I first saw that game running, I was like, okay, the new generation is finally here. Wow.
That's wild that's the game. You know, especially when I talk about like Unreal was the game for me that I just remember like, well, this shouldn't be possible at all. I wanted to buy all my computer parts to play this thing. And now it's like, now it's a mascot. Kind of like basically like a new age Mario kind of thing.
Oh, want to know what my first really, really great graphics card was?
Yeah, man.
The Voodoo FX2.
Yeah, yes, dude. I was hoping you'd say Voodoo 2. Yes, I had 12 megabytes of RAM on that thing. Oh my gosh, 3DFX.
Man,
Voodoo
StarCraft
2.
Looked good on that game, on that system.
No, yeah. I mean, dude, I was playing like they would re-release things even back then. Like you could get I remember buying an Activision copy of Mech Warrior 2 3DFX version.
Right.
You gotta get everything kind of lined up and stuff. Yeah, like that's how it's funny how much I learned from just installing a video card on a PC back in like 1998.
That was it.
I basically learned how like the whole thing worked inside. Like, at least in my mind, I just came to understand like this whole other thing that was basically magic to me before. That you pop that thing open, you're like, there's really only one spot for this thing. Well, at least in a PCI slot, there's like 5, but you can't really put it in the wrong spot. You know? So that's
for me, it was
1.
like there's ISA slots, PCI.
Oh yeah.
And if it was an ISA slot, you might have to mess around with the IRQs and adjust them manually to like fix it. And it was my friend, one of my friends who's in the AV club, who helped me build my first computer, and he's like, "This is what you need to do." And I was like, "Okay, that's not working, but here's why." And he kind of taught me, and that's kind of what got me into computers. For the first, I would say, 10 years of my life, I never worked a day. Or my first 10 years of my professional career, I never worked a day in my life.
Yeah. Just that much fun.
It was just too much fun back then.
Yeah.
Now it's not. I don't find it as fun anymore, but, you know.
Did you kind of stick with it the whole time? Because, like, I definitely, like, basically when the Xbox came out, I fell out of PC gaming just because it was so much cheaper for me to, like, it was basically the PC, like, in a box. I really saw it that way. And I had spent that Voodoo 2, I think, cost me like $600, you know, and still in some cases wasn't really enough. And I wasn't in full control of the PC destiny in our household. Like, I was waiting for like the one PC to kind of like die out so we could get the Pentium, we could get the whatever was coming up next. And yeah, like you have to spend way too much money to get the whole thing upgraded. So I went over to consoles, kind of lived over there for a little while, and then by the time I came back to like really understanding what the parts and components of a PC was, like I hadn't realized how long I'd been away from the game for, and it was really hard to. And I still don't have like 100% like understanding of what's optimal, but I can like I've put together fairly recent, 2 PCs pretty recently.
Nice.
So I'm doing okay on that front. But yeah, like it was really shocking to me. Like I thought I knew kind of my way around this stuff, and then it seemed like everything or a lot of things kind of changed. And
where are you spending most of your gaming time now?
Well, oddly enough, talking about this stuff, I'm back on console. Like, I was actually like I was starting to teeter back onto PC time because I got a couple I upgraded my PC a little bit and decent enough video card and where things were actually running better on PC, like way better on my PC than the Xbox One or PS4. So I was playing games like Division and sometimes a little bit of Destiny on PC, and I was just starting to get over there. And then the new consoles came out, and I like being on my recliner. I like being an old man and just being lazy with my blanket and everything. And this whole you started off with it. Like I'm in the exact same spot. I was working in this spot all day, and especially at the start of the pandemic, it was like that was the dark days. Ugly times, so stressful. I was just like, I didn't want to be here at all. So yeah, I just wanted to play console games. So
sure.
It's basically
so that's what kind of like took you away from playing games on the PC, was just because
too much time here.
Because you spent too much time there. And
it's the chair, honestly. If I had this PC like out there, I'd like to play games on. There's certain games that I just will always love. Like and there's not a lot of talk, I don't think, about like the exclusives on PC. It's actually, and not in a way that condemn or like marginalizes other games. It's just like there's special games on PC that you can only play on PC, just like there's special games on PlayStation, there's special games on Xbox. And like for me, like growing up, it was like StarCraft and games like that, and Disco Elysium was exclusive for a while. Yeah, dude, like there's games that you can really only play on PC, and things get a little less interesting to me when it's like, oh, I can play Doom Eternal at 200 frames a second. And it's like, that sounds awesome. But what's even more interesting to me is not the differential in frames on PC to console. It's more like, what special games can you play on PC that you just can't anywhere else? Yeah. It kind of makes it a platform on its own.
So one of the types of games that I really like to play, RTS.
Yeah, dude.
I'm terrible at them.
Same here.
I'll be the first one to tell you, you give me a cheat code for that game, I am all over it. Okay. No matter what it is. But I love to play them, and I'll try them for as long as I can without getting angry or, super, frustrated with it. Mm-hmm. And then I'll switch to cheat codes. And like single player, like multiplayer, I'm just like, I'm getting rolled anytime I try it. Oh, I don't even bother. I don't bother.
Yeah.
I don't have the internet for it. I don't have the patience for it. I don't bother.
I wish I did. I had, again, like very, very fond memories of, we would duct tape the phone because we'd play multiplayer on dial-up connection. And so we would make sure you could not pick up the phone.
So
yeah, because it would disconnect your multiplayer game, and it would be all over. There's no autosaves. There's nothing, and it would happen, enough, and everybody's kind of been there. And I've done it to my brothers where I picked up the phone and I knew as soon as I picked up off the receiver, you could hear the sound you could hear it in your hand, it's just terrible mistake. So we're like, well. There's obviously no warning. There's no nothing that you could do. We were legitimately taping the phone down to these things, and it was Warcraft awesome. 2 back in the day, Warcraft, Starcraft 2, kind of was later on. But we were playing back in the day. That was the genre, there was it was now I don't even know what it.
Command and Conquer, man.
That's just it. There's so many, and those were the ones. Warcraft and Command and Conquer and Starcraft were the ones that, those were the big ones. And then there was there was just so many. Age of Empires came later and just really solidified itself, which was, I think, pretty rare for that to happen. It seemed like everybody and their dog was making a real-time strategy game.
And you know what? They still are. They still are. But what I'm finding is I think they finally cracked the code on making it work well on a console.
I haven't experienced that yet. What game do you think did that? Yeah.
I really enjoy the Jurassic World game.
Ooh, that is good.
Great job.
Yep. Good call. Mm-hmm.
Was the other one Cities? Skylines?
I never tried that on. I maybe shouldn't have such a close mind to that on console. Yeah.
Gears of War Tactics.
Yep, I played that on PC. Actually, I never played it. I can imagine it would work. Yeah.
It works quite well. Even Halo Wars 2 was better than Halo Wars 1 on console.
Yeah,
as far as how it interacted.
Gears Tactics turn-based, I think, will work all the time. That's just the thing that it seems like that tactical types of games, that and Fire Emblem, things like that seem to work.
I'm trying to think. There's some other ones for sure that I'm missing out here.
I feel like I should play, because I think you can play Halo Wars on PC now. I feel like that's just, it might just be a mental break for me, where it's just I'm playing it on consoles, probably a completely fine experience, and it just, for whatever reason, I want to do more. Maybe I want to be quicker with my movements. I want to be, not that I'm, tracking my APM or anything. I'll never forget seeing for the first time, my wife and I were in New York City, we were at New York Comic Con. We happened to stumble upon this StarCraft competitive thing that was happening, and dudes were in these singled off there. One guy was in a pod over here, another guy was on a pod over here, and there's one camera on his face, another camera on his hand on the keyboard,
right?
And it looked like he was playing piano, all the commands he was doing just with the one hand. It was just
they're wild, eh?
And it tracks how many actions per minute, the APM. I was just I didn't even know that was a thing. So therefore, I'm obviously not capable of participating in this genre. I don't think anymore.
No, I'm with you. I can't do it. Even I've only really started getting more into competitive online gaming. I'm not good by any stretch of the imagination, but in the last, I'd say, year and a half, I guess, I really play a lot more Call of Duty Online than I ever did.
Oh yeah, competitively, or just it's just fun. For me, it's you just fire it up and
I fire it up and I play it, but I'm in it to win it, man, and I get mad when I don't win.
Yeah.
But before, I used to play, and I would very often be 0.2 KD.
Yeah.
But now if my KD drops below 1.5. I'm man, I really sucked it up that one. What the hell was I doing?
Mm-hmm. Did you see the Ubisoft thing today?
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it either. Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me about that. Actually, I forgot all about it.
Yeah, I got caught up in work today too. I saw at the very end just a thumbnail of it. There's some hints of what seems like Rainbow Six and Splinter Cell and whatever else. Yeah.
Just give us Splinter Cell, for the love of God.
Everything but, man. Everything but. They'll start revealing, they'll start having novels about Splinter Cell before they give you a game.
I don't know. I know they're working on it. There's not a chance that they're not working on it. And
it's got to be in their favor, though, right? That it's kind of driving people crazy, that there isn't a Splinter Cell game yet, and people keep talking about it. And so eventually, maybe when they do it, it'll actually make a splash. It might be part of the plan.
I hope that they just kind of go, oh, hey, we heard you.
Yeah.
Here's the game. We're pulling a full Fallout 4. It's coming out in 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. We thought we'd see a lot more of that, didn't we? Like, it seemed like Fallout 4, like, that was just it.
I
Like,
really
that's the way
thought
to
that
do
we
it.
would see more of that. It was more of that sort of, like, reveal sort of thing. That the time, I hate getting told 2 years in advance that a game's coming, man. I'm impatient. I fully know that. I am well aware of my impatience.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not the only one. Like, if you want to tell us about a game that's coming, awesome. Let us know about it when it's ready to show. Don't give us some fluffy CGI, like, pre-rendered, story cutscene and be like, oh, here's a splashy title screen coming out sometime in 2025.
There's got to be at least a couple of games that kind of gets you, though. And I used to have a similar kind of attitude with when it came to, like, remasters in the early Xbox One era, where I was like, everything's just getting remastered. It seemed like very cliche at a certain point. And then there was
that was last year. That was last gen.
Yeah, and it just, but it also, like, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember which one it was for me, but I do remember Ryan McCaffrey talking about how he was on the same journey, going like, it's lazy and blah 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 blah. And then there was like one game that he was interested in, and it's like, oh, thank God they have this remaster, and realizing that there's that for everybody. There is going to be a certain thing where people are happy, even if it is years in advance. Like Final Fantasy 16 is ridiculous. Like Final Fantasy 16, like, what was that, on the launch or one of the early reveals for the PS5?
Yeah,
like,
it was
this game's coming. And it's like, when?
Right.
Like, but
it's
people get excited about it, and some people will get like really riled up about that.
Think about Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh, dude, speaking of
that's
Ubisoft,
vaporware. I'm sorry.
You think so?
That's absolute vaporware.
Yeah.
We are never going to see that game in anytime soon. And if we do, everybody's going to be pissed off because it's going to be nothing close to what everybody's built it up to be in their head based on these developer videos that they've seen. Also, it's going to be so heavily entrenched in games as a service. It's not going to feel like a full game.
That's what I'm really wondering is, like, where did it start, and then where did, like, Ubisoft somewhere along the lines, like, make a turn in terms of, like, what kind of games are built. Like, look what they're doing with Assassin's Creed.
That's only
like,
a rumor.
They're just
still
totally different.
Rumor.
Yeah, still a rumor. I mean, they confirmed it.
Well, I don't know. We need to see what it looks like.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I mean, to say the way they say it, we all automatically assume it means X, but it may mean Y.
Yeah.
I need to see it. I'm not jumping all over them.
That's a healthy stance to take in games now. Like, let's just wait and see,
I just like I'm just kind of hanging back going, okay, that's not really what I want.
Yeah.
Can you pull it off? Maybe. I mean,
I'm somewhat with you on that as well. Like, I definitely refuse to go, that's not what I want. Because I don't know that I would have wanted what they ended up doing with Assassin's Creed in the last 3 iterations anyways. I wouldn't have asked for
fair.
it. No,
I wanted more, like, give me more Black Flag. Like,
everybody was asking for that.
Everybody wants Black Flag, but they took it in a different direction, and they changed the core dynamics of the game.
Yeah.
To great success. So
it almost makes me want to play Origins again, to be honest with you. Kind of want to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's just it. Like, there's a lot of game delays happening right now. Like, this is actually a good time. I'm happy right now. Delay everything. I'm still catching up. I'm actually making my way through some games. This summer's like jam packed for me. I'm just about to. I don't know. I want to say I'm an hour away from finishing Scarlet Nexus right now, but I probably am like 6 hours. There's probably like a cutscene that's like the Lord of the Rings or something at the end of this thing, and they got a lot of loose ends to wrap up at the end of this thing.
Sure.
I mean, I just got Monster Hunter Stories and Legend of Zelda. Like, I'm in it, dude. Like, it's
you're eating
a good time.
Well.
Yeah, I'm all right. And I unfortunately I bought Mario Golf and digitally, so I can't even trade it in. But
you
win some, you lose some. I'm super disappointed in it, man. Yeah, a little sad about it. But
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. But that's just it. Like, actually, you know what? Maybe it's for the better. I'm such a Sally Sunshine kind of person. I'm like, if I really liked Mario Golf, it would just be getting in the way of all these other games that I bought. So maybe it's just as well that I don't actually feel any pull to Mario Golf at all at this point, man.
I'm trying to think of the last game that I was super disappointed in. I'm really picky, right?
Yeah.
I buy a lot of games, but I have to really want it to buy it. And I've been very fortunate in that I get a lot of games get sent to me, and movies and TV shows and stuff like that, which is really cool. But what is the last game that I was super disappointed by? Probably, I think I would say it's probably Destiny.
Wow, really?
I hated it.
The first one or both or yeah?
They can both take a long walk off a short pier, man. If they were to never come out with another game, I would not be disappointed.
Wow.
Yeah, I hate them. Hate them.
Just not that, like, you just wanted Halo? Like,
no.
Is it based in something, or is it?
No, it just okay. So, Destiny 1, we all know that there were some fundamental problems with that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you all have to log into this place and go to this central location, and then you gotta wait for loading time to go to a new planet, and then you gotta finish this mission, and then you come back and into the ship, and then you gotta go, oh, I'd like to go do this mission, which is also on this planet. Then you log back in, you sit there, you wait for loading time, and then you go through the same exact damn level, except one new door is now open. And oh man, it drove me mental. I do not like that.
I kind of enjoy your distaste for it, though, to be honest.
You?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. No, man, it did not.
Like, I'm not here to argue with you on whether or not the game is like worth anybody's while or not, but I definitely enjoy.
I think you liked it.
You think I liked it?
Yeah.
I didn't I honestly. No, well, I didn't know. I didn't even know what to make of it, to be honest with you. Like, I didn't even know what the hell they were selling me. Like, I didn't understand like the genre that they were kind of like bringing over into this. Like, I didn't know anything about raids or anything like that. Like, I just didn't. I thought this was going to be a first person Mass Effect game. So like, I was genuinely just confused by it. Like, I just thought we were going to wander the solar system and go, shoot things. And I didn't understand like the loot system at all. Like, it was so new to me. And I actually think for a lot of people coming into that generation, like if you were again, I had abandoned PC gaming a lot. So if you're playing, like you were playing Diablo, so you kind of understand like the loot and the grind and everything. And anybody playing World of Warcraft or anything like that understood what they were going for. And I didn't understand any of that. So I was legit just, don't get it. I guess this is the end of the game. When I hit credits, I remember texting my friend going like, I think I just beat the game and I have no idea what happened. Like, it came with my PS4 when I got the white PS4, and that's kind of my entry into it. It looked cool. The dudes made Halo. That was my understanding of Destiny, if I'm being completely honest.
There's no question in my mind they made a really pretty game.
Yeah.
And the
it shoots real good.
Tight as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, but the gameplay execution I didn't enjoy. I think personally, and this might be a deep cut for some people, the game Defiance did it better. Did the looter, grind it out, community event. Why am I blanking
on that one? Defiance.
So it was it was actually tied to a TV series.
That's the first thing that came up here as I popped this open. Yeah.
So it was tied to a TV series, and they would do these things in the show, and they would tie directly into like a big community event in the game.
That's such a good idea.
It was really cool, and I think that Defiance did it way, way better. The game wasn't super great by any stretch, but
it didn't cost $500 million to make. Is that what you're saying?
It didn't cost. I don't think so.
I think that's what they said about Destiny. I seem to remember that being like a thing that was.
That's absurd.
Isn't that unreal?
Yeah, that's absurd, man. It says $70 million.
Yeah. So I mean, that's still back then, especially.
So yeah, and it ran for the TV show. Ran for 3 seasons.
That's I like that kind of stuff. It's like Quantum Break is something that comes to mind when I think about that kind of stuff. And like we just crossed our arms and went like, I don't like this. And it's like, hang on a second.
Not me.
Like,
not
I
me.
thought it was dope.
I liked it too, man.
So did I. Yeah, man. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, underrated game.
Give me Quantum Break 2, because I'd like to see what's next.
I take that over. This is maybe something that people will yell at me about, but I'll take a Quantum Break 2 over an Alan Wake 2 100 times over.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't understand the
what did you like about Quantum Break over Alan Wake?
I didn't like Alan at all.
Okay, because he's kind of a dick.
Yeah, and just kind of, I felt like just kind of boring and almost cliche in a bit. I didn't like the flashlight mechanic. I don't like much of it, honestly.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
See, I liked it because I like the atmosphere. I'm a horror movie junkie. Like,
Yeah.
this is probably one of the only shirts I have these days that's not a horror movie related shirt.
I don't even know what it is.
It says Han Solo on it, actually.
Oh, very nice.
It's got the Millennium Falcon on my back.
Dope.
But like, I'm a big horror movie fan. So just sign me up, man. If it's a horror film or horror game, I'll probably watch it or play it.
I was surprised to learn later on in life, like how many people actually like Alan Wake. Because I thought kind of my take on it was a little bit more popular, but as time has gone on, it's not at all, I don't think. A lot of people, and I just don't think it's sold very well. I think that's kind of where it comes from. I just know it didn't really sell out very well in a 360 era where, like, games were going, like, getting was good on 360.
Yeah, it was. It was a different, such a weird generation, wasn't it?
It was awesome. Like it's one of, I don't know. It's mainly because we're talking about it now that I'm about to blurt out. It's like one of my favorite generations, but like it is.
Sure.
I could name like a couple of reasons why it's very special. Like it seems like that was very representative of like that time. 360 and PS3. Like that was me getting back into games in a big bad way. Like I bought all of them, bought all the controllers you could ever want, like all the games. Like I was working a ton, and life was pretty good at that point in time. That was the Fallout 3 days, the BioShock days, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, like all that stuff, man. I was in it, yeah, big time. Gears of War. I have told the story before, but I'll never forget picking up like this was me again getting back into games. I had a copy of Gears of War in my hands at Future Shop, and I went like, I heard this game's pretty good. Like it was like the biggest game. It was like the genre or the generation defining game for the console, for God's sake. So I'm like, I think this might be good. And I just bought it off on a whim, and yeah, that was a defining moment for me. Yeah, man.
That's really funny. I've never been out of games or out of consoles. They've always been my primary place to play games, just because it's comfortable. You can sit in front of the TV on a couch, But there was a time for sure where I was not as gaming, like I wasn't as gaming focused in my spare time as I am now. Yeah. And I shouldn't be maybe so much as I am now. I've got kids, but they keep me occupied in other ways. Mm-hmm. But
you need the respite, though, man. You need the
for sure.
Know. Yeah.
I convinced. So when the Xbox came out or was announced, I knew I needed to have it. I really wish it was still that X that they showed off, the original prototype.
Stop. No way.
Yeah. I still tell Seamus Blakely online, like, I'm like, dude, I really wish you guys would have released that. And I think he's working on something. There may be something coming under his.
So on the note. Well,
that he's working on.
You called it here. I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
Maybe another Duke controller. For the series.
Well, no, I think what he's considering is like trying to release like a mini version in like the X-shaped console. I think that's what he's working on.
Oh my gosh.
He has posts like things online, and he's asked questions as gauged interest, right? Like that's how the Duke reemergence came about, was because
that's true. That's true. Yeah, he doesn't just do things just because. No, he generally has a purpose.
Exactly, but I wanted to say, I convinced a Toys R Us store manager to let me in early so I could get the original Xbox that they had launched, because I didn't pre-order it anywhere. And I don't know why I didn't, but I just didn't. So I was sitting in this parking lot.
How does that happen? Again, it's another era, dude. Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, people were pre-ordering, but like, I just didn't. I don't know.
No, you don't convince somebody, like, let me in so I can buy this early. Like that doesn't happen.
So the way I did it was I go, hey, are you guys opening early? And the guy looks at me and goes, why would we open early?
No doubt. Did you even know what you were at? Like, were you even genuine with that question?
Yeah, no, I was totally genuine with it. Because like I bought my PlayStation 2 early, I got my Dreamcast early. I got my Dreamcast.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I was there like midnight launches for those things.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I lined up outside of Walmart for the PS2 just to like, and I waited in line for like 6 hours with my wife.
Yeah.
Just to get this damn thing. Cause like, inventory was low, but he goes, why would we open? I'm like, well, the new Xbox comes out today. He's like, what's that? I go, the new video game system from Microsoft. I'm like, you're not opening early? He's like, no. I'm like, well, your competitors are. I guess I'll go over there. And he said, well, hold on a second. He's like, what do you want to get? I said, I want to get the system. I want to get an extra controller. And I'm like, I want like 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, give me 5 minutes.
That's how you do day one. Yeah, man.
So so he goes, okay, give me 10 minutes. Let me go inside. I'll come back. Comes back out. He's like, come on in. Lets me in. Locks the door. What do you need? I'm like, I want this.
Just
this,
the
this,
whole
this.
store to yourself.
Yeah, I had the whole store to myself, man. And I got that thing. And it was.
What town was this in? Was this?
This is in Ottawa.
Oh, Ottawa. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not nothing. It's not like I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting you to say, but Ottawa kind of surprised me a little bit.
Totally convinced them to like let me in early. And
what games? Do you remember the games?
Halo.
Yeah.
Fusion Frenzy.
Yeah.
Project Gotham.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't that it? I feel like
I think there's another one in there. What the hell was it? Was it a wrestling game?
Dude, I can't remember. Project Gotham was all I ended up walking home with that day. It wasn't even day one. It was my brother and I getting it. Like, we pitched in together, got 2 controllers, Project Gotham, collecting kudos points, all that stuff.
Right.
It wasn't until like way later that I got Halo. Like, it just wasn't even. Oddly enough, like Halo was on my radar because I had a PC Gamer magazine and I saw it in a PC.
Dead or Alive 3.
Ooh, Ryan Turford would kill me for not mentioning that one or for not remembering that. He surely was screaming the entire time. Oh man, so is that like why Xbox Kaneda?
Xbox Kaneda, yeah. I'm an Akira guy.
Oh, I thought it was like a Canada thing.
No, it's not some fancy fun
like Kaneda
play on Canada. Just Xbox Kaneda. I don't know why. I just kind of like did it like when the original Xbox Live launched.
Yeah,
and it just kind of stuck.
Gamer tag, you just stick with it. Yeah, nice.
But
man.
Microsoft also like I worked for Xbox for a time in my life.
Did you?
I was a retail rep here in Ottawa, so I would go to different stores and check their inventory and things like that. Right?
It's a pretty good gig, right? Like it's kind of. You get good stuff. You get.
Buddy, we got all the best stuff.
I was gonna say my wife was a rep for Nintendo, and they sent her like all the stuff, like goodies, of course, but then also like she got a couple DSs, DSIs, and stuff. Like, yeah, it was a good.
Yeah, man, we got all the stuff. We had Jade Empire was sent to us like 3-4 weeks early.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I'm just still coming off a cold here. My youngest gave to me.
Oh, nice, beautiful. Yeah, that's the way it goes.
So, I got that really early. We got flown to Toronto for a Super Bowl party where we had like penthouse. There was a penthouse apartment rented, and I'm telling you, like I walked in, and there was just a wall of beer cases and like a table as far as I could see with food and all the liquor you could ever think of. Right?
Oh my gosh.
And over in this one room, they had this game that hadn't yet been released yet. And it was being played on a machine that was kind of like hidden. Mm-hmm. And it was a Halo game.
Yeah.
And it was like, what is this? Don't talk about this to anybody. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
this
right.
Yeah, no, so cool. And they have like they had a big old Master Chief, like life-size Master Chief in the Microsoft offices in Toronto. Fed us very well. We partied every night. It was just absurd.
That's awesome, man. I love that.
It was such a great job. So much fun.
Oh, dude, that's the best. And that's just Canada. It seems like they seem to treat us pretty well, man.
Xbox
it's right.
Xbox Canada is really, really, really good to us out here.
Yeah. I think I was joking with Leah last week. Like, are you guys sure? Like, I don't know if I would help us out as much as you guys are, but all right, I'm grateful.
Nice.
Anyways. Do you want to, Josh? I think it's about that time, man. Do you want to?
Okay.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, taking a little trip down memory lane. I was a little surprised by the PC chat. It's kind of nice.
Yeah,
dude.
well,
It's not
everything.
that often. Yeah, I like
everything. The only thing I don't play with these days is my Switch. Like it's literally, I don't even know where it is right now. It's in the house, but
I had played I was on the bus for the first time today in a long time. I took my Switch Lite out. And I'm like, yeah, this feels pretty good. Yeah.
I don't. There's nothing on it that I want to play.
And I go through those bouts, but right now I'm digging it, man. I got my Zelda, I got my Monster Hunter stories. I'm digging that. But yeah, man. Do you want to why don't we close things up and you can tell people where they can find you on the internet? Do you want people to find you on the internet and all that stuff?
Sure, you can find me. Like you don't have to worry about me biting because I don't typically bite, but sometimes I might.
Okay.
You can find me on Twitter at Xbox Kaneda, and I'm also sometimes write stuff for my site pixelserial.com, which this week I will have my review of the new Masters of the Universe Revelations posted before the show comes out. I've watched it a couple months ago. I can't really say right now, so it's I have thoughts.
This will come out on Saturday. When's your embargo?
It's on Wednesday actually.
I won't release it, but it's fair if you don't want to tell me.
Oh, you're not pushing this out till Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday on Patreon and then Mondays on free feeds.
I'm just going to have to go ahead and drop one here. I fucking loved it.
Yeah. I love it, dude. Yeah. That's awesome. So pixelserial.com is where people can go to read more on that.
Pixelserial.com is where you can find that. And also I do a podcast weekly with my friend Steve Vegvari and Dennis B. Price. And that's the Canadian Geek Cast, and you can follow us there at Canadian Geek CST on Twitter.
I love it, man. I got to get Steve on here. We had a little scheduling snafu a couple weeks ago, but he's he's in the queue, man. We're gonna get all you guys on here.
Get him.
It was one. You guys were all together. Leo was on the show, and I'm like, I want everybody. It was you guys were doing some E3 thing, and I'm like, okay, all of you guys, you're all coming on. So I've got you all locked in here.
She's great. We loved having her on, and it was just like a lot of fun. We're gonna have to get you on too.
Anytime.
Find the right thing.
Yeah.
To get you on maybe one of our spoiler casts. I don't know if that interests you, but we'll get you on.
I do want to get on to I just take I'm so slow at I'm just about to play through like I said, I'm about an hour away from finishing Scarlet Nexus, like one playthrough. There's another character that I could play through. This is probably going to be it for me. So I'm fairly unreliable when it comes to that sort of thing, but I would just
what about movies?
Movies I'm down for. Yeah.
Because
movies I've wanted to get back into
TV shows and movies.
Yeah, movies, TV shows I'll be just as bad as games because they're just as long. But movies
really? What about like things like Loki? Like we just did our spoiler cast for Loki.
It's too much.
Really?
No, yeah, it's too much for me.
Oh, wow.
I got to draw the line somewhere. I don't have enough time. I'm doing this. Enough. I'm doing this too often, Josh. Like I'm podcasting more often than anything. So that's an issue that I've got to figure out at some point.
Is it an issue?
It's not really.
Sean, come on.
I used to do a movie podcast, so that I really miss doing. And it was before I had kids. The format I loved because we would watch a new movie in the theaters every single week, and we would also watch something in our DVD or Netflix collection.
Okay.
And it was just I love that so much. We'd have a new movie review and then kind of a nostalgic kind of flashback.
This is what we've been watching, sort of thing, right?
Well, we would decide. We would let the audience decide. We would give them kind of options, and it would always have to connect to the movie that we watched the current week. So it all started with Con Air, and so it was somehow it has to connect to Con Air, whether it was a Nicolas Cage movie or whatever. It was a director. Or some people found out who the composer was, and they would link it to that, and somehow everything came back to Howard the Duck in a lot of ways.
Dig it.
So
who doesn't love Howard the Duck?
Who doesn't love Howard the Duck? Well, obviously, showed up in. He's officially in the MCU.
Yeah, somehow, yeah.
There you go. I mean, that was even before any of that kind of stuff happened. So I miss talking about movies I miss podcasting about movies for sure. So
we have a couple more. We have a couple more coming up soon. I can't remember what our next one is. I want to say it's Shang-Chi, but I'm not positive on that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that one interests you or not, but
I'm down for whatever, dude.
Cool.
Honestly, podcasting, content creation for me kind of gives me the push or pull I need to just watch or play whatever is kind of on deck.
All right.
There's just so many different things going on. It helps me choose. So
let's plan. Get you on one of the spoiler casts coming up.
Yeah.
We have a few. Like, we definitely
That'd
have
be
a few
fun.
coming. So
Let me know.
That'd be great. We would love
That
to
sounds
have
fun, man. All right, this is the end. Thanks so much, dude.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Have you done it yet? I know you're listening to this on your phone. You might be driving, in which case, stay focused, stay safe. Don't record a podcast while you drive. That's my bit, all right? That's my bit. Have you done it? Have you started to follow Xbox Kaneda? It's not Canada. We cleared that up. What the heck that was all about. Twitter, at Xbox Kaneda with a K and an A and an N and an E and a D and an A. I kind of just did, like, what am I doing with my hands? I almost did like a fake sign, like American Sign Language, but I don't know any of the letters, and I sort of made a fist at a fake audience in front of me. What is wrong with me? I'm so glad you guys are here. What a mess that I am. But I have a good time doing the show, and I'm glad you guys are here. What else did I want to tell you here at the end? You can support the show, patreon.com/YumiKapuri. I've got my McDonald's Diet Coke here, and it's very tasty. I also have I did get my decaf, my coffee, but it's kind of cold. And that's truly unfortunate. I would also appreciate, guys, if you could share the tweets. Tell other people about the show. I joke about it at the start, like telling your friends and tell your mom and telling your dad, blah, blah, blah. Some of you do it, and I appreciate you very, very much. youtube.com/YumiKapuri. Go over there. Even if you don't really intend on watching or listening, and even let's face it, this show on YouTube is it's a JPEG on there. That and the Nintendo Drive. It's just the audio versions, but we wanted to have it all in one place. Maybe one day we'll get back to video. Some of you guys have been with me on this journey on We the GamerCast for a long time. We used to do the video version over at youtube.com/WeTheNerdy, which, by the way, you can still go over there. You should throw them a sub anyways. But you can find a whole bunch of my content over at youtube.com/WeTheNerdy. We used to do at least a couple of these episodes. We did them video over there. But goodness gracious, guys, what a good show. There's a particular member of the community who I've got scheduled to be on next. I don't want to jinx it, but Callow is up next, you guys, and I hope you guys are going to be there for next week. We're scheduled for Monday. Maybe I just jinxed it. I don't think that I did, but I don't often do this. But Callow is next, guys. Many of you know him. He tweets and tags many of us. He likes cigars. He likes knives. I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but that's it, man. That's the end of the show. Thank you so much to Xbox Kaneda or Josh, I should say, for joining me on this show. What else? Did you guys rate the show on podcast feeds or anything like that? You could do all that stuff. This is the end. This is the end of the show. The music is over. Here's the bit from Heavy Rain, and this is how we end the show. So I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye-bye.
Jason! 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 Sean! 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 Sean, where are you? Jason! 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 Sean! 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 Jason! 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 Jason!